So I'm going to be doing like my 11-week postpartum, birth story, labour, like everything all together, how I'm finding things right now, and stuff like that into this video. So if you're new, then welcome. I'm just a mum, like a teen mum, and I don't really have anything to do right now because of quarantine and everything. So I thought, why not? Let's just make a video and post it online and just let you guys know my labour story and stuff. So my baby's now 11 weeks old. I was going to do a 12-week postpartum check, but she's got her jabs next week, so I won't really have time to film or anything like that. But yeah, so my labour, well, on the Wednesday, so I gave birth on the Friday, but like leading up to it, there was like complications sort of thing. So on the Wednesday, I got called into the hospital because they checked around and said that my glucose levels were high. So I had to go and get them checked out, just to make sure that everything was okay. They gave me this monitoring kit, so I had to monitor like my glucose levels, because if my glucose levels are high, that means like my baby's glucose levels will be high, and it's dangerous, like if they're high, if anyone didn't know that. So I had my glucose monitored, and they said if you get 3 high readings, then to call the advice line and it'll go from there. So I had 2 high readings and then I had reduced movements. So on the Wednesday night I phoned the advice line and then I went straight back up to hospital, because like I had 2 high readings and then she stopped moving, and I had a bath and everything. She normally moves when I'm like in the bath, and I had a bath and she wasn't moving still, so it was a bit of a scare. And so we got to the hospital, and they did like some monitoring and stuff like that. We got to the hospital, they did some monitoring, and she started moving again, like everything was fine, her heart rate was fine, and they turned around and said, if you're not happy with it, then we'll induce you tonight. But I was, at this point I was 37.5 days postpartum or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I didn't really want the baby to come just yet because I wasn't ready and I was scared and like worried and everything. So yeah, like that was that. So I said no, like everything will be fine. Then on Thursday, I had another high reading and it was supposed to be under 5.4 in the morning. So I took my blood, I tested it on the little machine thing that they gave me, and they turned around and it came up saying that it was 8.8. So like that's really high, like it's extremely high. So I called the advice line and I told them that I'd been in the night before with high readings and reduced movements, and now I've got really like extremely high reading. So they said that they were going to go and speak to the doctor and then phone me back. Hold on, I'm just going to put her down quickly. So yeah, they said that they were going to go and phone the doctor and then they were going to phone me back. So they spoke to the doctor and the doctor said to bring me in so that they could discuss me delivering the baby. Well, at this point I was a bit shocked. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. My partner, he was at college, so he obviously couldn't get there straight away. So I went into hospital, I was monitored, and then they said that they were going to induce me. So I phoned my partner and I told him to come down to hospital, they're going to induce me. And then he came like straight away, he was there within 10 minutes. And then we were waiting around for the doctors to come in and everything like that. Anyway, I'll fast forward to the doctors came in at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and they said that they were going to put a pessary in. A pessary, I don't know how to say it, but yeah, that. It's a little like block thing, like a little string, and they put it into my cervix. Sorry if it's too much information, but yeah. they put it into my cervix, and they said that it will expand over 24 hours, and we'll watch you, we'll monitor you, see what happens. Well, they told me to go for a walk around the hospital for an hour, so I walked around the hospital, and then my contractions kicked in, and I was having contractions like every 30 seconds. Like, it was so painful, and they were just, as soon as they like came and then went, like the next one was already happening. So it was working way too quickly. And the doctor came in and they said, we need to check how far like dilated you are, because you're having really strong contractions and you have them every 30 seconds. So they checked and they said that I hadn't dilated at all. So they took it out to stop the contractions from happening. They said they're just going to monitor to see if I contract on my own. So all my contractions stopped. I was kept in overnight, and then at 6 o'clock in the morning, the following morning, so the Friday morning, they said that they're going to take me down to delivery suite and they're going to break my waters. So I went down to delivery suite, and yeah, they monitored me for about 2 hours. They broke my waters at 8:10 in the morning, and I wasn't in labour or anything like that. I didn't actually hit labour until 11, so I had gone like 3 hours where they've just broke my waters and nothing was happening. I wasn't contracting or anything like that, but I dilated to 3 centimetres, and then I went into active labour. I just had gas and air, and it made me really, really sick, so they had to give me an anti-sickness jab in my leg. So I had an anti-sickness jab, and then it basically just knocked me out, so I fell asleep. And then I woke up at about 12:30, and I was screaming and I was saying like I needed to push and like stuff like that. Like, I'll show you some some photos of me in labour in a minute. But yeah, I'll show them. Like the photos of me in labour, I was in a lot of pain, and I was telling them that I needed to push, and my midwife told me to get a grip. Like, she was like, oh, if you can't deal with the pain that you're going through now, you're not going to be able to deal with pushing the baby out and stuff like that, which kind of like, it upset me a bit, but it made me think like, oh my gosh, yeah, if I can't deal with this, how am I going to push the baby out of me? And then, so the next part that happened was, my partner was asking them to check how dilated I was, but they said that they couldn't because they've literally just checked me and I was like 3 centimetres like 20 minutes ago. And they said there's no way that she would have gone 3 to 10 in 20 minutes. So he was like, I give you permission to check her. And they said, okay, well, if we check her now, we're not going to check her for another like 2 hours, I think they said, because of infection. So they checked me and they were like, oh my god, like, okay, like, carry on pushing, you're at 10 centimetres. So I was like telling them, I was like, yeah, I told you, like, I needed to push, like, I really, really needed to push, and no one believed me. So I went from 3 centimetres to 10 centimetres in half an hour, like, and then I was pushing and she got stuck in the birth canal. So she kept crowning and then going away again, and then her heart rate just dropped dramatically. So it was a bit of a scare, and obviously I was scared and I was panicking and everything like that. I'll show you some pictures of her when she's just been born as well. Just pictures of her just being born. I was pushing for about 25 minutes, and then she came out. She was absolutely fine, there was no problems or anything like that, which was great. So yeah, that's my birth and my labour story. But now for postpartum. So this was my tummy about 3 days after having my little girl. my tummy now. As you can see, like, there is a major difference between my tummy now and my tummy like 3 days after giving birth. I do miss my bump and everything, like that is one thing that I do really miss, and I miss just laying there and watching my stomach move when she's kicking me and stuff like that. But I'm so happy that she's here now and she's safe, especially with everything that's going on in the world at the moment with like coronavirus and like having to quarantine, wear masks and gloves and stuff like that. Like, I'm so happy. So she came 2 weeks early, so if she had come 2 weeks like when she was planned to come, then I wouldn't have been allowed like my birthing partner. I would have just had to go through labour and birth on my own, and my partner was my birthing partner and my partner's mum was my birthing partner as well, so I could not have gone through that without them. Like, it was so hard, like going through it with them there, let alone without any support or anything there. So yeah, like, it's been amazing, and like I would go through birth like and labour all over again. Like, it's so magical. Like, the pain just goes straight away after the baby's born, and you're just sitting there and you're looking at your little baby, and it's just amazing. It's an amazing feeling, and stuff like that. So fast forwarding, after I came home from the hospital, it was quite hard, like, obviously, to get into a routine and everything, especially with what's going on in the world at the moment. But like, everything is so amazing. Like, day by day I watch my little girl grow, and she's changed so much since she was born. Like, I'm going to show you now some pictures and stuff over the past 11 weeks of her, and some videos and her development and everything, and then we'll get back right to it. See what she looks like, how much she's changed and stuff like that in just 11 weeks. Like, it's amazing how much someone changes, like, as a baby, and she does not look anything like she did when she was born. And like, it's so incredible, like, just watching her grow and everything like that. But yeah, bye.